with Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho?
Oh, it might have been. It might have been. That might be the year. Yeah. That might be the year.
Yeah, I think that might have been the segment where Jericho really like punched Shawn's wife, like actually punched Shawn's wife.
Oh shit!
Trying to hit Shawn, and he actually hit her. Like, yeah.
Oh man! First match is MVP versus Jeff Hardy.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the show. Yep. That's the show that happened.
I do remember when MVP was like first came out. It was like him, Carlito, Mr. Kennedy. Like I felt like they all came out around the same time. Like I know Carlito too. Yeah.
Was first. But yeah, I remember when MVP was like popular and shit.
Yeah.
I'm the best free agent on SmackDown.
Yeah.
He played that shit for like the longest time. I'm trying to remember that. Yeah, that might have been the one. Yeah, that was Hell in a Cell. Yeah, that was Hell in a Cell. I'm just had to make sure about that. But yeah, welcome to Ring Takes here as we talk a little bit about SummerSlam a little bit, which we'll get into a little bit later. This is episode 25, where we're going to be doing a Raw recap, potential Rock return, which we just got the news on that, and favorite SummerSlam moments, which we'll get into. How are you guys doing? Of course, I'm joined by Brian and Lewis. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're doing good. Like you said, off camera, it's been a long week. At least for me, it has.
yeah, we're almost there, man.
It's been a hot ass week for me.
Yeah, hot ass week too. Out here in Rhode Island as well.
It was a little all right today. I was all right today. Yesterday, I was like, the fuck.
That rain was crazy.
Yeah, but
the rain has been summer showers. It's crazy.
Yeah, but thank God we have this platform to express ourselves and such.
Nah, man, but we can get into it here with our Raw recap. And I'm happy about this. We actually have Judgment Day running Raw.
Yo.
Yes.
Raw and
yes.
Like
all NXT.
All
throughout the show.
All four phases. They have been able to dominate Raw. And of course, it started off with Dominik Mysterio. Well, the Judgment Day coming out, cutting a promo, basically talking about how dominant they are, how happy they are. Dom is the North American champion. Of course, that brings out Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, basically just being sick of Dom. Being sick of Dom and eventually getting it. Of course, Kevin Owens just going to town on Dominik Mysterio. But Dominik Mysterio has a little bit more power than he has in the past. And it's that title that he's been carrying, going to territory, winning matches, and gets into a match with Sami Zayn. A very highly competitive match. I liked the match. All the dynamics of it. What do you guys think about that? Of course, Dominik Mysterio picking up the win. Of course, Judgment Day getting involved with that, and potentially Kevin Owens being out for a little bit with a little bit of an injury there, a rib injury.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think about that whole starting segment and match to Raw?
Let me go, Brian.
Oh, yeah, you can go. All right, go ahead.
Go ahead.
This is what the Judgment Day should have been doing from the very beginning. And
Yes.
it's sad to say that it's taken this long for it to happen, but and I know we talked about this a bit with like the whole bloodline, how they'll probably send them up to be like the next faction. And it's like, you guys could have been doing this for a while now. It's like, and look, all the heat that Dom gets, look how it legitimizes him more that he has a title now. It's like, actually, you're like, yo, he's winning. Yeah, he's winning as a heel, but like, he's winning. The fact that he has the title and is defending it, it's like, okay, this is actually like, oh shit, like, look, he can go, he can do this, and he has all this heat. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just gonna build up his status even more. And it's crazy to see that they're all there on NXT, SmackDown, Raw. It's like, this is what the Judgment Day, and honestly, and this is why I wouldn't even mind it if Finn does win the title. It's just like, not that all the stars align because you still got the Damien Priest factor in there, but it's like everybody will legit have something. But I don't know how they're gonna go with the whole Money in the Bank cash in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, so we'll see.
Go ahead, Brian.
Well, I think we can agree on one thing. I really do think that someone in the WWE has been watching or listening to our podcast. Clearly, because I mean, they initially had teased that Damien Priest and Finn Balor were going to have dissension. Now, whether this was a part of the story or whether they changed it on the fly because they realized what I realized, which was that the Judgment Day had not been built as a dominant force on Monday Night Raw yet for you to be considering breaking them up. Yeah. You know, I think I compared them to the Undisputed Era when everybody in the Undisputed Era had a title. I mean, they dominated segments on NXT, and they were the faction on NXT. And I didn't think we were seeing that with the Judgment Day. And the last few weeks of booking since I made that statement clearly show that that the book that they definitely have decided to make the Judgment Day stronger. And it's about time. And for Dominik Mysterio, the reaction that he gets, and to main event 3 straight nights of WWE television.
Wait, and win
all 3 matches. It's just amazing. I mean,
this is how you build stars.
As the 20 son of Rey Mysterio when he was a babyface with his dad, to now evolve where he is now the North American champion. Like I stated, like his reactions are next level, and then you got Rhea Ripley, and you can almost see that the North American title win almost made Rhea Ripley look even stronger, in a sense, because you know the more actually the stronger Dominik gets, or the more weaker he seems, the stronger she looks, since essentially she's controlling him per se. But to see the Judgment Day pretty much like scattered throughout the show, opening segment, closing segment, you know, in between with Rhea Ripley's vicious attack on Liv Morgan. I think, Daniel, you shared the photo of the DX pose that she gave to her. Like, look, they really multiple segment to segment. And I believe there was a report out that with the Bloodline storyline now dwindling down, that the Judgment Day is essentially supposed to be the successor as the next top storyline within the WWE. And when you see this dominance now, you can clearly see now that that they have a focus now on the Judgment Day, and if Finn does win, I mean, you talk about dominance, and then you still have Priest out there with the briefcase. I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What I really hope doesn't happen with Damien is they pull who had it last. What's his face? No, Austin Theory, where he goes after the U.S. title. Like, don't go after a secondary.
Nah, they can't do that. Nah, they can't.
I'm just saying because of how you got it. Let's say Finn wins, and you don't want to break up the Judgment Day. I'm probably not going to have him cash in on Roman. Oh, let me go after the IC title. Let me go after the U.S. title. Like, I really hope, because I feel like they've been hinting at it more. Like, he can go after any title in the WWE, and which it wasn't a thing before. It was usually like passion on the either the 2 belts. Now, when did it become you can go after the US, the IC? Like, what's that? Oh, I'm gonna go after the NXT championship. It's like, what? Like, I just hope that isn't being considered.
But as a side note, I actually like the fact that they can go after the NXT championship, because it actually just raises the prestige of that title. And it also makes people stop looking at NXT as developmental per se, and like treat this as a legit third brand. So actually, I like the fact that they do that.
And it's true, they were highlighting a lot of the NXT titles because they were in Tampa. Like, they had all of them in the crowd, and some I didn't even recognize. I was like, "Who's this? Who's that?" Even backstage segments, I was like, "I know some of these guys in NXT." I was like, and they're building them up, which is which is good.
Oh yeah, and just as a side note, I know like NXT like is technically like developmental for the next generation of superstars, but they still do try to have a feel to make you think that it is a legit third brand, even though it is recognized as developmental. But because it's recognized as developmental, make that NXT championship mean something by having a Money in the Bank cash in. I don't think it'll ever happen, but by teasing it, you raise the prestige of the title.
I think that only happens potentially if there's an NXT wrestler in the Money in the Bank match. I think that's the only way that potentially that could happen, right? Like it would make the most sense for them to do that if they were going to try to do that. Maybe a dastardly heel or whatever the case may be. But bringing it back to the Judgment Day, of course, Dominik Mysterio being in the main event of Raw, NXT, and SmackDown last week, battling Sami Zayn, getting the win how he did in this week. It's like we're seeing some building blocks to his character, even though he's a squirmy heel right now where he's kind of getting help from everybody. But that's what the faction should be. He's their weakest member. They should be trying to build him up, get him wins. And that's what they're doing, from Damien Preist, Finn Balor interfering, Rhea Ripley, of course, interfering. So you're getting it looks like there is solidarity between the whole unit now, rather than them showing that friction that they have in the past. And we've seen Judgment Day kind of featured on Raw a little bit, but they were always losing. They were losing at the pay-per-views. They were losing on Raws. Now they're starting to win. Now they're starting to dominate. Now they're starting to get more promo time. And, of course, I think that's going to lead to, I hope, Finn Balor winning the title and solidifying that group, because that's something that they've been missing even when they debuted with Edge. It was just like, okay, where's this going? And then we got Finn Balor in there, and then it was like, okay, they're battling Mysterio and that family, but where is it going? So we actually look like we have some type of direction with main event matches. We got Rhea Ripley potentially setting up a match. We got Dominik Mysterio winning his matches. Finn Balor's in the line for a world title shot, potentially world title win. Damien Priest, of course, with the Money in the Bank briefcase, just brings a threat from everybody now in that group potentially. What do you guys think about the injury that looks like a rib injury to Kevin Owens throughout all of that? Do you feel like they're going to strip KO and Sami of the titles at some point? How long? I don't think they said how long the injury was or how severe it was. If it was something that he can just be on TV, or is it something that's going to keep him out for a little bit?
Oh, well, I saw that Dave Meltzer had reported that apparently that KO has been working through this rib injury for quite some time now. Yeah. So I think it probably got to the point where it's just like, okay, all right, we need to address this now. Well, like, probably couldn't bump on it anymore, take any more bumps on it. So if it is serious and he's out for an extended period of time, Lewis, you might finally be able to get what you want as far as the tag teams division go. I mean, if there's tag team titles, we have vacant tag team titles, we may get brand new tag team titles like we've been desperately hoping that they would deliver on. We now have a story for all these teams. You got vacant titles. You're all going for them. This essentially makes your tag team division what it should be now. And then when you finally get a proper champion, now you can build off of that, and your tag team division will finally be able to show what essentially it should have already been showing.
And maybe this is a way to do that, especially with them splitting back the titles. They're like, hey, we stripped them. It isn't like there's going to be an undisputed tag team again. The titles go back to the respective brands, hopefully. Hopefully we get tag team titles. And as I've been trying to allude to, maybe they should do like a tournament throughout the fall. And then eventually we get tag team champions for each brand or whatever the case may be. But not only that, with Kevin Owens potentially being out, whatever the situation with that is, and now potentially put Sami Zayn in a main event picture spot, right? Like he can now probably go to the main event now and challenge for a world title again on that level. So that's another challenger that opens up for Seth or Finn or Damien or whatever, however they decide to play into that. It potentially
Sami beat Roman.
He had his opportunity in February. He failed. Okay.
By the way, but since we're talking about that match, I just want to say as a side note for that match, Roman was such an asshole in that match. I specifically remember when he was talking to Sami's wife. He was like, "Yo, I want this to be a big family. I want this to be
I keep saying it. Roman Reigns is the best right now because of that little bullshit work he does. Like when he's talking shit, or like when they were in London for Money in the Bank, he's like, "Why are we here?" This is the worst. Why are we? All those little details are just awesome. So I love that for him. But yeah, like I think this potentially opens up a lane for Sami Zayn. He's always been in that tag team. He's not chasing Roman or the Usos right now. It can give him a different lane. Like he should be a main event contender caliber fighter. And then potentially whenever KO comes back, they don't have to be a tag team. They can potentially be in the main event scene together. So we'll see how that goes. I'm psyched for that angle. I don't want Kevin Owens to be hurt, of course. But if it opens up the lanes for things to happen, like the tag team division and main event Sami Zayn and main event Kevin Owens, the prize fighter, again at some point, that's dope. I like that whole spiel of that, potential of that.
It's crazy to see how, and I feel like this has happened many times before, where like an injury, as bad as it is, where like this person's out, what are we gonna do? It like opens up the door to like, especially this situation, like you just said, like so many more opportunities. Like, imagine if this happened maybe like 2 weeks ago. It's like you could easily have just done a tag team tournament that could like finish at like SummerSlam. And it's there, we actually have tag teams going after a prize. And it's on a pay-per-view. Like, thank you. It's just like it just baffles me. Like one of the big differences. Sorry, what did you say?
Premium live event. That's how
yes. No more pay-per-view. Nobody believes in pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view is AEW. WWE is premium live event.
It's just crazy how like between both AEW and WWE, you just see like the difference in how tag teams are utilized, and it's just like I don't know. I feel like at this time right now with WWE, it's like they're just like look at what like Alpha Academy and Viking Raiders are doing. It's just like it's not even like comedy, but it kind of is. And then we don't even see the Street Profits anymore. I can't even name other tag teams. Like, you got the Brawling Brutes who just brawl whoever that week, or Judgment Day's just been feuding with like Seth and whatever. But it's just like
you had Pretty Deadly too until one of them got a shoulder injury.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, where's the, we had the FTR, we had the Revival, we had the DIY, we had the Undisputed Era. It's like tag team wrestling was just so great in NXT, and it's just like on the main roster, it's just never.
And I don't understand why WWE is so hot and cold on there. Of course, you want to have people that move up, be main event stars. Maybe a tag team's not working, but it's like there should always be tag teams. There should always be some type of program within tag teams. And it feels like a lot of the times they get lost in the shuffle, and it's like there's 3 hours of Raw, there's 2 hours of SmackDown. The champion's not wrestling every week. Like, you can have something there. You know what I mean?
It's like after the New Days and the Usos, it was just like, where are my tag teams? Where were they at? It's just like we haven't had a great tag team rivalry in like such a long time. And it was great that the Usos had that long ass title run. But it also seemed like there weren't any legitimate contenders that were actually going to dethrone them at some point. Yeah, maybe with like the Street Profits here and there, but then like besides them,
they should have gave the Street Profits the tag team titles.
and see with them, I'm a big fan of the Street Profits, but it's just like I don't know. There was something. I don't know. It's like there was like a little piece that was like missing for them to being like when they were champs. It was just like they weren't hot. It's like, yeah, we got the titles, and then it's like, okay, well, who are we beating? What are we doing? And it just dwindles down. It's just
like when they were in Tennessee, was it for last year or something? Was it last year SummerSlam they were in Tennessee? That's when they should have won, or did the heel turn with Montez Ford earlier. That's what I was, because they were teasing that. They were teasing him getting frustrated and pissed off.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay, are they breaking up now? And then it's like, no, they're still together. And it's like, if they're still together and you're going to keep them together, at least make them win. At least make them be competitive. At least make them be in that the conversation. And they just weren't. So it's like, I don't know what they were doing. I don't know why they're so hot. Again, I don't know why they're so hot and cold of tag teams. Of course, you were building
really,
the bloodline storyline during all that, so the Usos needed the titles, but it's like we're
Mhm.
past that now, and let's figure that out.
I really hope all this teasing with Bobby Lashley, with them. I don't even care if it's not another tag team. Just give me like a faction that will highlight all these dudes because they're so good. And it's just like Bobby should easily be in the main event. You know, the Street Profits could easily be, new members of a new faction. Like, okay, you get the titles on them. It'll actually like, highlight something, make them strong. And it's just like, give me. You've been teasing this shit for I don't know how long. It's just like, well, what are we doing? Stop with all the Twitter posts and the little, oh, hey, what's up? Oh, well, look, now it's this person. It's like, what are we doing?
And if you're gonna make Twitter posts, get Omos the fuck out of the photos, man. if they are planning on doing another Hurt Business, we do not need to see Omos. But here's the thing. This is MVP, and Omos kind of needs MVP. You can't have Omos
for sure.
He needs MVP, but MVP also needs to be the leader of the Hurt Business, be the voice of the Hurt Business.
Maybe they bring back Teddy Long to be the leader.
You can't have Bobby Lashley be the voice of it. I mean, realistically, you can have Trick Williams be the voice of it since Lashley was with them.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something to look forward to. But
absolutely. And then, what do you guys think about, of course, the attack of Liv Morgan from Rhea Ripley, basically destroying her arm and basically putting her out of action? Apparently, that she has a legitimate injury. So it's like, okay, what are they going on with there? Like, what's the angle there? And then they said Raquel has a knee injury, so it's like, what's going on with that?
All right. So does Raquel have a legit knee injury, or were they just selling from what happened last?
I think they were just selling for that, but I think Liv is actually hurt. Let me check.
So Liv is actually
hurt. I didn't see anything about Liv being hurt, but I didn't really see much about it. But I feel like that definitely gave Rhea a good, just like dominant, like she brutalized people. But it also just shows that there's legit nobody to challenge her besides Raquel. And that they're going with this angle, like, oh, you hurt my friend, and I'm gonna kick your ass now. But it's just like, who else,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, hopefully that they said apparently they're playing it as that she does have a serious knee injury, but it's like hopefully it's nothing like. Hopefully they're just playing it up and can get her to SummerSlam because that's a match we want to see. Want to see Rhea Ripley on the card. I'm not even sure if that's on the card yet. But I thought in that segment, Rhea Ripley actually built some type of heat. Like rather than having people cheer her on and just be like, hey, her destroying Liv Morgan like that actually brought some type of heat because people actually like Liv Morgan. They care about Liv Morgan. They want to see her do good. And a good way to build some heat on Rhea Ripley was to have her take her out. And she's taking out Raquel Rodriguez, who everyone likes. She's taking out Liv Morgan. And not just in a way that's like, okay, like, kind of like how Trish was picking on Becky early on when she came back. It's legitimate. I took you out. Like, you're injured. I'm taking you out of commission. I'm putting you away. Like, I like that for Rhea Ripley's character, who was kind of getting a little outside of the Judgment Day. It's like what she was doing on her own. It was like, what is she doing rather than just kind of being a boss? She's actually putting some people out of commission. So I like that standpoint for her character.
The best way you can book a heel. Right
there.
Basically.
Yeah,
but take out the competition.
Yep.
Hold on, I'm just trying to see if that's actually on the card for SummerSlam. If we actually,
I don't think she has anybody against.
Rhea Ripley is not booked for SummerSlam right now.
She's not
unless they make the match. Unless Raquel comes back on this coming episode of Monday Night Raw,
basically,
and then they set up that match, which will
that can be the squash match because if she has a legitimate injury, that can be a squash match on the SummerSlam because it looks like every other match is going to get time. I don't see a match here that's not going to get time there.
Yeah, because don't we have? Aren't there like 3 women's matches already? We got the triple threat, and then we got Becky. We got Becky and Trish, right?
Oh, and then probably Ronda and
Yeah,
Shayna.
Ronda and Shayna,
Ronda
I
and
think they
Shayna
made
is
official today. So,
Oh, was it?
or either today. Matter of fact, they made it official last week when Ronda called
You
her
think
out.
you guys think it's gonna be a fight pit?
It should be. They should do something. Why not?
And she already said it. She's like, I don't want a match. I want to fight.
They should put that together.
If Ronda's really done right after this match, then it needs to be a fight pit. If they're gonna build it out and like Ronda's gonna be around for another month, then you do the fight pit. But eventually, you're right. It has to end in the fight pit. Realistically,
one way or another, it has to.
It's also been a very, I mean, if you think about it, it's been such a short time from when she turned on Ronda to, I don't know, maybe there's not build for me, I guess, but I wouldn't mind it if it was the fight pit. And I honestly feel Ronda should just be out of here at this point.
As I said, there's a way to save Ronda Rousey. There's a way to save her rather than having her go down this road. If she is sticking around and is being a full-time wrestler, there is a way to save her rather than have her just lose and then be out. She should
give her a manager,
cheat to win, and then just become like a fucking asshole. Like as I said a couple weeks ago, just be like, I have my own separate dressing room. I don't come in with these losers. Like, and just be like a fucking
like Roman.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. Just be Roman. Be the female version of Roman. We do not have that.
She wouldn't sell it as well.
So essentially, you're saying she should be the most dominant heel that she could be, right?
Yes.
Okay. So why the fuck were they even considering trying to book her as a babyface? Remember, we have to remember, because I had to think for a second. I was like, hold up. Shayna turned on her. It wasn't the other way around. So initially, they went into this feud thinking Ronda was going to be the babyface in this shit. So that's why I'm so glad someone took their head out their ass last week and made Ronda the heel.
I don't know how you cannot see that people are not behind Ronda whatsoever. And yeah, that like you can't be, oh no, she got turned on. It's like
the way they have been selling her, like when she came back and beat Charlotte that time. They have initially made her the babyface. They wanted her to be the babyface so bad initially by that win. And then they put her in the ring against Liv Morgan, and everybody was like, Liv Morgan, yeah. And everybody was like, we don't care for Ronda anymore. We want Liv Morgan to have the title. So that didn't do her any favors. She should be heel. Play into that character fully.
But I feel like, you know what's crazy is from when she first came, you know, we talked about like she had the mystique, like, you know, she's from the UFC, she was badass, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like once she had that heel turn, I feel like she hasn't been able to recover because her heel work, it was, I don't know, it's something like the way she talks.
Once they give the mic in her hands, everything goes down.
It's not believable. It's corny. It's just like, really? And it's just like, you don't even sound like you don't even believe the shit you're saying.
Yeah,
exactly.
So Luce, you're talking about when she initially turned.
Yeah, when she was like, "Oh, screw you guys." Actually, I don't even remember when. It was probably like 2 years ago.
Realistically, when she initially turned, that really wasn't her fault. That was because Becky Lynch was coming. Yeah. Becky Lynch was coming. Because you remember that was leading into the triple threat match at WrestleMania with Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda. That's when she initially had to turn because everybody wanted Becky Lynch.
So, when Becky won the double titles?
Yes.
Becky Lynch was a deadly sin. Was a deadly sin. I keep telling you guys.
Against because then essentially when they feuded, it was like, we're behind Becky. We're not, and you had Ronda as the baby face, and it was like, yeah, Becky's our baby. So you're gonna have to go down that road.
It started from SummerSlam when she turned on Charlotte, and then it just built up, and then she got punched in the face by Nia Jax. Like at that point, it was like Becky was made. So like you couldn't. There was no way that Ronda was going to be a babyface. There was no way because she fought Charlotte at Survivor Series, right? And that's when Charlotte beat the shit out of her.
Was it?
Yeah,
was it like a street fight or something?
Yeah, that didn't help her either. So I mean, they kind of buried Ronda in that whole sense. Looking back at it,
Like I wouldn't have cared. Like she could have and I think I said this a long time ago. She could have easily been like the female Brock Lesnar. Like you didn't have to have her talk so much. Like just have her go out there and kick ass and just be like, "Yo, I'm better than half these women here." Blah blah blah. Like, but just trying to give her all these like I don't know if they just let her spitball or if they roll her promos. I don't know, but they were so cringy to me, and I'm like, and even when she's just being heels with Shayna, I'm like, shut up. I'm like, shut up. This is not good. So
We didn't need her talking. That's the point.
Not at all.
Especially at that point, it's like you need to go to acting class like Roman did and get your shit together, and then come back.
Is that a thing? Roman went to acting class.
Yeah, like he went to acting classes. Yep. Yep, Sucker and Succotash was no more.
I rewatched that clip and that shit was brutal. My God.
I'm so glad that he was like, yeah, enough of this shit. Like when he came back, like he was like, I'm not doing that shit. Like I love that he did that. So it's like I always respected him for that. But yeah, hopefully they can figure out what they're doing with the Judgment Day, especially we want a challenger for Rhea Ripley. I think potentially it's leaning towards Shayna Baszler. Maybe after SummerSlam, she goes into a feud with her. Because if Liv Mogan is out, if Raquel Rodriguez is out, she's next up. I don't see Piper Niven. I don't see anybody else there. It's like we need
Emma.
Wait, there is another contestant. Natalia, I'm telling you. Payback is in September. WWE, listen. Natalia is ready.
Look. Tegan,
she's not ready. She doesn't know who she is.
Girl with the shiniest wizard. We need, Tegan Knox.
No.
Come on, you guys don't believe in the girl with the shiniest wizard?
No.
I think she's a good wrestler. But I like.
She's good. She's good.
She's a good wrestler. I don't know her promo work though. I don't think it's that great.
No, realistically, her problem is her body's like Anthony Davis. It's made of glass.
Is she hurt right now?
No, she's not hurt right now. But come on, to get 2 ACL injuries in kind of like back-to-back years. I mean, that's just
That's
where's freaking what's her face?
Natalia?
Johnny Gargano's wife.
Candice LeRae, she was in the they were trying to do something like where Nikki Cross was stalking her, but I haven't seen it come back.
Remember, they like cut that too. It's like,
yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I'm just saying they have the way there. I don't know what they're doing. They have Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, and now they got Tommaso Ciampa, which we'll get into, of course, with the other Raw stuff. But it's just like we gotta get some type of storylines going on here. We got to get something.
Please. I hope there's some new storylines coming out of SummerSlam. Like I need some new people involved.
yes, absolutely. And then of course we had Apollo Crews sighting facing Damien Priest. He came back and fought for like 3 minutes and lost to Damien Priest. So they're keeping Damien Priest strong. And we finally got the first debut of Apollo Crews on Raw. Unfortunately, it was a loss, but it's the Damien Priest who's hot right now. And then what do you guys think about the beatdown segment of Seth Rollins by the Judgment Day at the end there? And we're getting that matchup, of course, with the contract signing between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, and that whole promo where Finn is saying, 7-year itch, you're going to be my bitch. Like, all that type of stuff they're taking it to, all the type of levels that they're taking it to. And it looks like Seth Rollins is fighting the odds against the Judgment Day here. So what do you guys think about that?
It just makes the Judgment Day look so much stronger, and I think it's even if they don't pull the trigger, it's just making it more believable that Finn could actually win the title. I don't know if they'll pull it under the rug, and let's say he wins, and Damien was like, "Screw it, I want to be champ," and it's the implosion of the Judgment Day. But I don't know. But it does just make them look real strong right now. So,
all right, okay, Lewis, if they were to do that booking, have Finn win and then Damien cash in and become champion, do you think? I mean, it would be really quick for a breakup, in my opinion. But do you think that Dom and Rhea, now especially now that Dom is North American champion, are strong enough on their own that if there was an implosion, maybe Obviously, they would be good, or no?
I think they could still do it. I mean, she's a champ. He's a champion. You know, you don't.
I think they can do it. They can
Yeah,
definitely
they
play
can do
that
it.
angle,
They
and
can
then
do it.
maybe Dom ends up like costing her the title down the line or some shit like that. And then she's always helping them win. They can do something like a Dastardly Hill type thing, like kind of like a. Because right now they remind me of Eddie and China right now, especially when they were the champions and they were trying to like help each other and all that types of shit with the Intercontinental title and stuff like that. So they can definitely play up that angle.
Now that I think about it, why do I feel like when they came up with this idea that was their thinking, darker version of Eddie in China?
It is. It sucks because
he has the hair.
Somebody had probably initially brought that up and then said, "Well, yeah, we can."
That's just a little different because he's wimpy.
Next thing you know, like, hey Dom, can you grow out a mustache real quick?
Yeah, people will get it.
Can you get this Latino Heat shirt? Like Mamacita, can you get this?
Mamacita.
That was prime wrestling in 01. Prime wrestling.
Yeah.
Was that? I think that was 2001. Yeah, so that was prime wrestling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that good times. But I think that's the angle that they're playing off. But I do think they're able to, if they were to break up, like Finn and Damien go into their own program on their own and stuff like that, or whatever. Damien is just in the main event picture right now. Finn's in the main event picture. That's good for them. But I think they can play that angle of Dom and Rhea a long time. I don't think that's going to fizzle out because Dom has just, again, X-Pac heat where everybody wants to see him go away. And Rhea Ripley's so strong right now. And as Brian said, the way that they're booking Dominik Mysterio and her helping him win all the time, that's making her look good. The way she's taking out people, they can still do that. They don't necessarily need the Judgment Day, but I do feel like I want them to stay together at least, especially with the dominance that they're having and the impact they're having. And it's getting other people on TV, it's getting them in a prominent role. And yeah, I think they should stick together. I don't think they should pull the trigger yet on a cash in on Damien Priest if he was going to cash in on Finn. I don't think they should do that.
Okay, so honestly, to continue to build this momentum that the Judgment Day has had to some, I mean, whatever happens in this, there has to be some kind of positive outcome for the Judgment Day. I mean, even if they're playing this for Seth to still be champion somehow, some way, there has to be some sort of continued positive momentum for the Judgment Day. If the report is indeed true that they're going to be the premier successor to the Bloodline storyline as the top storyline in the company now. So regardless of what happens, the Judgment Day have to come out looking strong out of SummerSlam, at least in my opinion.
And see, that's my fear because it's like, okay, you have Finn win. That's why I think they're either going to steer Damien Priest to another title. Because if we're going to go the Undisputed Era route and you want everybody to have titles, it's like, what's Damien going to have? Is he really going to cash in on his boy and blow up the team? Or just give him a mid-card title and, hey, look, everybody has a championship?
I got an idea. I just thought of something. What if Drew beats Gunther, and then Priest comes down and tries to cash in?
I don't like that.
I don't like that at all.
I don't like that.
He needs to go for the championship.
I'm not putting the fast to do that, but more than likely, this is about he's already made intentions clear that he's going after a world title. So
yeah, I don't think Drew would have agreed to come back and like, hey, I want the IC title, and I lose it. Same night.
Maybe that's just the way to get it off Gunther. Maybe that's just the way to get it off Gunther and put him in that role. But
Gunther needs.
As far as Drew goes, they need to stop playing and just pay that man. I'm sorry. Until there's a report that comes out that Drew has signed a new contract, I'm going to keep saying this on every fucking show moving forward. Pay that man. I'll make the same statement. It's the same thing when you two argue about what's going to happen to Cody Rhodes at the Royal Rumble or going to WrestleMania. I'm going to make this argument moving forward from now on. Pay Drew McIntyre to be a champion during the pandemic era of Raw and SmackDown. Y'all know those were some of the worst shows to get through because you really missed it not having these. Those were some tough shows to get through.
No crowd.
Being world champion during that time and to not have his WrestleMania moment in front of front of what 60,000 or how many people it was at Raymond James Stadium to not have that moment and to have that moment in the Performance Center and then to have the title reign that he had with essentially in front of a damn board, a damn board of fans,
LED board.
even before the Thunderdome, when they were doing it in front of NXT superstars who were posing as fans. And
I remember that.
There was no damn crowd. Like you pay that man to have a title reign and to hold the company. You pay that man for that.
Just to speak on that, it's just like it's like, what would you do if you didn't have him? Like you can't afford to lose him. Like, like he's a top star. Like I don't see that. Like, that's like not paying Bobby Lashley right now just because you're like, okay, we don't need anybody. You need somebody like Drew McIntyre, and of course, we all think he should have a heel turn at some point, do something great. Like he should have something, but it's like he should not be fucking not paid and just be
But has it been reported that he signed a new contract, right?
No, I think his contract's up after WrestleMania 40.
I thought it was been up, but that's why we didn't see him on TV.
Nah, I think there was a negotiation.
I mean, Triple H pretty much said, he tried to say that, it was after WrestleMania. I think Drew had an injury that he was addressing or something, and he's not even. That's what he said. Anything else, it's news to me. But
still, I feel like Drew should easily be in the main event title hunt right now, and it's like. That's why I'm like, I like the whole him versus Gunther, but I feel like it hasn't been properly built. Like, whoever takes out Gunther needs to be a legit. And, like, Drew could be that guy. But if it was longer build, I'd believe it. But I think it's too short of a build to them. Be like, all right, just take it as. Plus, with how things are now, they want him to break that honky tonk record, which I don't know when the date is. It could be at SummerSlam.
I thought he broke it. I think he broke it already.
I didn't see anything about him passing.
I think he just passed him.
Really? I didn't see anything. I feel like it would have been more highlighted, but I don't know.
In the promo package, it will be
at SummerSlam.
At SummerSlam.
Yeah. If he did, definitely highlight it there. But I don't know. I just feel like it had they had their interaction this week on Monday, and it was he beat Ludwig